The Seventh Age of Middle-earth. Now that's a bit of an odd concept. The Lord of the Rings ends in the Fourth Age of Middle-earth. Kingdoms are reunited, the world is saved, and everyone goes off home or to adventure further. The Fourth Age of Middle-earth has begun. The end. And from there, most do not consider what may have happened after. The book was over, the story was told. But J.R.R. Tolkien was never the sort of man to leave anything half done, even if it seems fully done to the rest of us. Today on Fantasy Archive, we look at what age Tolkien himself believed our modern world would be in. Most Tolkien readers can tell you that there are 4 known ages of Middle-earth. The first age, where much of the Silmarillion takes place, is the creation story of the world which ended in the War of Wrath. The second age, in which the creation of the Rings of Power came to be, and the first rise and fall of Sauron. The third age, which we know the most of, relates to the stories of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings series. Tolkien also gave us a few tidbits of the fourth age. Everyone goes home or lives happily ever after in some form or another, be it in Middle-earth or somewhere else. So where does any mention of the Seventh Age come from? Well, this whole concept of a Seventh Age of Middle-earth ties back to the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien, in which in a letter to Rona Beer, an English author and scholar, Tolkien says, "I imagine the gap between the fall of Barad-dûr and our days to be about 6,000 years. That is, we are now at the end of the Fifth Age, if the ages were about the same length as the second and third. But they have, I think, quickened, and I imagine that we are now actually at the end of the Sixth Age, or in the Seventh." This idea seemed to linger in Tolkien's mind, and 2 years later, he wrote that we are now living in 1960, the Seventh Age. So how do we go from the Third Age of a fantasy world to the Seventh Age of our world? Well, in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings writings, he has also kept with the idea that Middle-earth is our Earth. From writing in his Legendarium, where he acts as a scholar who has come in contact with old records he is translating to us, to the prologue of the Lord of the Rings, where he speaks of hobbits as creatures that still currently live in our world. Hobbits are an unobtrusive but very ancient people, more numerous formerly than they are today, for they love peace and quiet and good tiled earth. A well-ordered and well-farmed countryside was their favorite haunt. They do not and did not understand or like machines more complicated than a forge bellows, a watermill, or a hand loom, though they were skillful with tools. Even in ancient days, they were, as a rule, shy of the big folk, as they called us. And now they avoid us with dismay and becoming hard to find. We also learn in the nature of Middle-earth that hobbits were hunted by us men. The much later dwindling of hobbits must be due to a change of their state and way of life. They became a fugitive and secret people, driven as men. The big folk became more and more numerous, usurping the more fertile and habitable lands. To refuge in forest or wilderness, a wandering and poor folk, forgetful of their arts and living a precarious life, absorbed in the search for food and fearful of being seen. For cruel men would shoot them for a sport, as if they were animals. In fact, they relapsed into the state of pigoons. So Middle-earth is our Earth, obviously many years, and many changes have happened over the years. And we know that the major changes in the world end each age. No information on what leads the Fourth Age to the Fifth Age, or the Fifth to the Sixth, is given. However, we do know that the Sixth Age became the Seventh Age, according to Tolkien, with the birth of Jesus Christ. This makes sense, as Tolkien was a devout Catholic. Karl F. Hofstadter, the editor of The Nature of Middle-earth, comments that, while many are familiar with the concept of named ages of the world, as found in classical mythology, example, the Golden Age, the Silver Age, etc., it is far less known that the Catholic Church has long espoused a system of numbered ages of the world, extending through at least a Sixth Age. Throughout Tolkien's life, the proclamation of the birth of Christ just before the start of the Christmas Vigil Mass flatly stated that Christ was born in the Sixth Age of the world. The ages are deeply tied in Tolkien's faith and were first put into effect by Augustine, a theologian and philosopher who furthered the idea even more by stating what he believed to be the changes of the ages in our world. Noah's flood, the calling of Abraham, the crowning of King David, and the Jewish people's captivity in Babylon. So what could have changed Middle-earth from, well, Middle-earth to our Earth? No statement is given on this, some theories that it could have been the Great Flood as mentioned in the Old Testament. However, Tolkien never makes any commentary. We do know, however, that his faith shaped his writing. Despite this, it is important to remember that Tolkien wrote his stories for everyone, not just his Catholic peers, and was deeply opposed to allegory in any sort, which is why any connections to his faith are often hard to find, or found in personal comments and letters. What Tolkien discusses to a degree is the event that changed the Sixth Age to the Seventh, the One himself entering Arda. Finrod Folgund speaks to Andreth, a human wise woman initially debating that men do not understand the gift of Ilúvatar, death. Andreth believed that men were once deathless, and that because of Morgoth's corruption, they were made to die. At some point she tells Finrod about the prophecy of the Old Hope. They say that the One himself will enter into Arda and heal men, and all the marring from the beginning to the end. This, they also say, or the Fane, is a rumor that has come down through years uncounted, even from the days of our undoing. Tolkien further added, "If Eru wishes to do this, I do not doubt that he would find a way, though I cannot foresee it. For, as it seems to me, even if he were himself to enter in, he must still remain also as he is, the author without," per Christopher Tolkien in Morgoth's Ring. But this surely is not parody, nor even parallel, but the extension, if only represented as vision, hope, or prophecy, of the theology of Arda into specifically, and of course centrally, Christian belief. So what did all that mean? J.R.R. Tolkien used his Catholic faith as a basis to bridge Middle-earth into the real world and to progress the ages of Middle-earth up until the current Seventh Age of the world in which we are currently living.